There's something magical about cafes. I love settling in with my favorite drink, iced Americano, or hot if the weather calls for it, popping in my headphones, and getting some work done. It's truly my happy place. Funny enough though, I don't go to cafes all that often. Partly because I prefer the coffee I brew at home, and honestly, it can get pretty expensive. So to recreate the perfect cafe vibe right here in my own home, the first thing I knew I needed to do was create a beautiful cafe table. Let's talk about the design for this cafe table. For me, the aesthetics and the vibe of a cafe are just as crucial as the coffee itself. A great cafe isn't just a place to grab a drink, it's a source of inspiration, so this table had to be perfect. So I'll walk through a tip when doing cross-cut cuts. Cross-cuts? Cross-cut cuts? When you're making cross-cuts. Yeah, whatever. So what I do is I attach or I clamp a piece of plywood to my fence. And I don't want the piece of plywood to run the whole length of the fence. It's just a short piece of plywood. And so I can butt my piece up against the plywood, and then I can easily move the piece through the blade and make the cut. Whereas if you didn't have the piece of plywood, you'd be butting up against the fence and there can cause some friction. This way it's pretty frictionless, but you still get the cut that you want. And it's repeatable, which is nice. I had to show you this. These types of things are things that you don't get with big box store furniture. Well, the camera doesn't do it justice, but this is like so reflective. It's insane. It's like a Topps Chrome rookie card. This is what this is. This is so cool. Like, yeah, you can't see it. It just looks so flat, but like as you move it, it's like holographic. Super cool. Back to the scheduled program. The design is pretty straightforward, but super elegant. 2 discs with a cylinder connecting them. I was going for clean lines, a soft feel, and really light, inviting look. I chose white oak because of its subtle grain and warm tones perfectly complement the design. And a functional reason for the simple design was I wanted to enjoy some coffee and get some work done at this table. For me, I need a clean and tidy space to work effectively, which aligns with the design. The goal is that when I'm sitting at this table, I feel like I'm transported to a third wave Scandinavian cafe. Let me know in the comments below if you think I captured what I'm going after with this design. I made the design for the bottom of the tabletop that I'm going to engrave on it. Something that's really cool about the Shaper Origin is you can make your design on the computer, and then via the cloud, the Origin will pull that design down and you'll get it right on the Origin. Super slick. Make the design on your computer, have it downloaded onto the Origin, and we are ready to go. Now I'm gonna pivot to the leg that I'm going to turn on my lathe. I'm not the best with the lathe. I find it pretty hard to be able to consistently make, you know, a dowel, and I want this to be uniform across the whole thing, so no tapers. I've been putting this project off for a while, but I'm going to make a jig for my lathe where I can put a router on top and have it go across the piece. I think it'll just be easier doing it that way. I don't have like a lathe duplicator. I don't have a lathe CNC. I have seen people create a jig and then they attach the piece to a drill and then run it through their table saw. Just since I have the lathe, I'm gonna go that route. So I'll check back in a bit once I have the design. I had the design for my router jig for my lathe, and I'll walk you through kind of what I'm thinking here. Okay, here's the design. So the router's gonna be on top. I'm gonna make a box, some pieces on the outside to sandwich against the side of the lathe, so it will be pretty stable. And then, you know, the piece will be in the center there. I have a plunge router, so I can move the router bit up and down, depending upon what diameter I need or how much I need to cut off. All right, let's test this thing out. All right, so this looks great. Yeah. This will do. And like, I can't really move it much. Okay, so this first test, it was too tall. My bit couldn't get to where I wanted it to be. I'm going to chop down the height here, redo it. All right, so that worked really, really well. I definitely could not get this result by hand. That worked so well. That'll be the leg between the two circles, the base and then the top. Really happy with how this turned out. So I'll definitely be doing that in the future. And if you want help, let me know in the comments down below if you want plans or anything for the jig that I made, but it's pretty simple, just a square box. It was also pretty sketchy, so let me know if you wouldn't be comfortable doing something like that. I don't know what it is about this project, but I'm feeling really good about it. I'm just super pumped. I think I really, really love the design. I think it's gonna look really, really good. And I'm trying a bunch of new things and they're working out. So it's a great feeling. I'm trying to keep this going until the end of the project. If you're still watching, that's awesome. That tells me that you're enjoying the content. So it'd help a bunch if you hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. For those true superfans, consider becoming a member on my Patreon. I post plans and videos as well as do giveaways. And I'm doing a giveaway when I hit 10 members. Patreon is the best way to support the channel since it's so small. Thank you. So as you can see, this is the first dry fit. Pretty awesome, pretty awesome. I'm liking the way that looks. And that's a good sign because I haven't sanded, I haven't done any finishing touches on it so far. So this is as rough as it's gonna be. And I like the way that it looks right now. cleaned up the top and the bottom and just dry fit it there. You can kind of see. And I noticed that the top has a little bit of chip out. There are a couple of ways that I can fix this. The first being the simplest, which would be to round over the edge, which kind of defeats the purpose of the design that I had. I really liked the cleanness of just a light chamfer, just sanding the edge, making it soft to touch, but not really soft to your eye. So like you can see here, I really like that just clean silhouette that no roundover provides. And that was something like a key design aspect of this table that I really liked. So I'm a little bit hesitant to do a roundover. The other option, and this is something that I've been really wanting to do, is like a patchwork. I would remove like a square of material from the top, and then I would put a new piece and one that maybe doesn't really match that much onto the top. And so you get this kind of quilted look, which I think is pretty cool. It adds character. I'm considering doing that. The only thing is I've never done that before. And I kind of have that mental block of a new thing and feel like it's gonna add so much time and a quick round over and I could be done with this tonight or tomorrow. I think I should do the quilt, but will I do it? I'm not sure. Does this happen to you where you are in the process of making a piece and you get a design idea, or you feel like you have to pivot somewhere, but it might add time or it's something new that you haven't done before? Does that happen to you? And what do you usually pick? Do you usually go with the new thing and invest more time into the piece, or do you kind of take the short route and just finish it? And I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with this one. Stay tuned. Ooh, do we go end grain? That's f***ing elite. End grain. I love end grain. Ooh, that's a fire idea. All right, so as you saw, I'm doing the patchwork. I got a really cool idea. I'm gonna use end grain to do the patchwork. I think it'll look kind of cool with the face grain juxtaposed with the end grain patches. I'm sure the expansion and contraction is not going to be optimal because the wood is going to be moving in different directions, but this is for my house. I don't really care. I think it'll look cool, so I'm gonna do it. Let's go. I have a plan for the patches. I'm gonna rip those to about 1/2 inch. And then once I have those pieces, I'm gonna map them on the tabletop. One by one, I'm going to put them on the piece. And then I'm gonna put pieces of plywood surrounding the piece. And then I'll clamp those pieces down, remove the patched piece, and then route out 1/2 inch, and then glue, clamp. I just can't stress how important it is to be creative in a problem solving and can do attitude when doing this stuff, because you have to be patient. You have to make sure that you're doing it the right way. No corners cut. And I'm sure I've cut many corners in the past, but it just feels good to kind of think about things when there's a problem and solve it the right way. So what I'm talking about here is when I'm making the patches, they're pretty close to the edge. So the template that I was creating, plywood pieces that I'm putting together to sandwich and make the outline, it was flopping. So it didn't have enough room. You can see that the circle ends here. So this whole piece was just kind of suspended in air. And so what I did is I took the offcut of the circle to give it some more support. And so instead of going forward with it suspended and trying to make it work, took a step back, thought about it, got this piece, and it's gonna be great. Always just think about, okay, is this the best way that I can do it? What are the other options? And then just do it. Now, this might be the trickiest part, the glue up. The tricky part will be making sure that each top is flat, as well as the pedestal leg is 90 degrees between both top and bottom. Once the glue comes out of the bottle and touches the wood, it's tick-tock. So I gotta have this nailed down before I do that. Oh, that's a lot of the glue. A lot of glue right there. If you haven't noticed by now, I absolutely love coffee. And much like woodworking, I pretty much stumbled upon this rabbit hole only to find myself getting deeper and deeper into it. The origin story of my coffee obsession is actually a bit strange. It all started during a college internship where the office had a broken, fully automatic espresso machine. I remember thinking, man, how cool would it be if this thing actually worked? It's probably fair to say I was pretty naive to be so fascinated by what's a fairly common home appliance. But that spark was enough. So of course, what did I do? I went out and I bought an espresso machine for myself. And from there, it was a rapid progression. Buying fresh beans, then upgrading my grinder, then getting a kettle for pour-overs, another espresso machine upgrade, and eventually even getting a roaster so I could have truly fresh beans all the time. For me, it's these kinds of hobbies, whether it's coffee or furniture making, that truly make life fun and interesting. So if you're looking for something new, I highly recommend finding your own passion. Just a heads up though, if I could do it all over again, I might just pick a cheaper hobby. As you can see, we're in the final stages of this project, and what a journey it's been. It was such a fun build, and I couldn't be happier with the table I know I'll use and admire daily. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.